the game starts. Where is it? There it is. Good morning, everybody. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for joining us here on Dice and Ducks. My name is the One Ben Bailey, or at the One Ben Bailey. My name is Ben Bailey, or at the One Ben Bailey. There we go. Is what I probably should say. I'm looking rather saturated. Thanks so much, camera, for making me look like that. Our game is starting very, very shortly. Sorry, I have just put the music up in the background. Sorry. The TO's being talking there. But I hope you're all okay. Thank you so much for joining me. Here we are going to play game number 4 of the Quest of Champions final series, where we have got Joe versus Dave in Lumineth versus Maggotkin on table 2. Both table 1 and table 2 are 3-0, so one of these players will be seen also in game 5, most likely against Freddie Leggett, Toby Meadows. Now, both players, the mission this morning is one that I fucking hate. Sorry for such crass language this time in the morning. It is the Battle Lines Drawn mission, where each quarter counts as an objective. And to be able to claim, you need to be wholly within the quarter. Also in this mission, you cannot set up or use an ability that allows you to reset up a model. So take it off the board and place it down again. It absolutely screws things like Skaven Gnorholes, or Sylvaneth, or any teleport spells, or Launchen, or the Soul Screen Bridge, that sort of stuff. Just completely unusable, apart from a fancy like roadblock in this particular mission. Now, with the Lumineth, it stops some of their teleporting shenanigans, and with the Maggotkin, it doesn't really hinder them because you can still deploy off the board and then deep strike in. I think the thing that really lets this mission down is that it is table quarters that are the objectives and not like the central point in each quarter. Anyhow, table 1 was looking a bit skewed towards our Beast of Chaos player, Freddy, because he has some units that he can bring on from the board edges that are inexpert conquerors that just count as 30 models when he brings them on. And unfortunately, Toby doesn't have the ability to hit all 4 quarters at the same time or do anything like that. It doesn't affect Summoners Rex because you're not taking them off the board to replace them. You are just placing them on the board as standardo. Anyway, let us go into our army lists that we have this morning for you. We have Mr. Joe Jackson with Lumineth Realmlords, or Numeneth Realmlords. This is their 700th battle tome in the space of 2 days or something? I don't know. Playing Metrica with the grand strategy of Zero Dominance. So you'll have to excuse me. I'm going to be pulling in Mr. Dan Buchanan, or the Warrior Lodge head honcho, I guess, with hair like I've never seen. It's actually defying gravity this morning. It's kind of impressive. But we are going to be seeing a leader with Archmage Techless with Total Eclipse, one of the most negative play experience spells. But we'll see. I imagine Joe's just going to spam it every turn. It makes sense. Stop those command points being worth like just 1. They're now worth. Then we've got the Light of Alfarion, which is one of the most gorgeous looking models. I absolutely love it. And an Ilari the Stone Mage, who is a general with unyielding toughness, molten talisman, and unbreakable stoicism. Then in, I really struggle above counting 2. What? Above 2? What's patch? What? Yeah, I really did. Yeah. Leave me alone. It's boarded. I ate literally 9 hash browns this morning. I feel like I'm going to go to the toilet every 3 seconds. Anyway, we've also got in our battle line slots here for us today, we've got Ilaria Stoneguard, and Ilaria Stoneguard, one of them being reinforced. Then we've got 2 Ballistas, which are nice to see. Pretty solid, pretty solid. Venari Blade Lords, and a Spell Portal rocked for Joe Jackson. Moving on to David Weimer here. We have got him playing Maggotkin of Nurgle and Drowned Men. Blowout Rot Spawn leading up the leader slot here with Gist of Disease. 2 Lords of Affliction, one of them obviously Overpowering Stench, Arcane Tome, and Blades of Putrefaction. Then we've got a unit of 4 Flies, or Puskar Blightlords, then 3 units of 2, and a unit of Rotmire Creed, chilling out, relaxing, maxing disease, and then a Chronomatic Cogs as an endless spell. This mission, Luke, sorry, I concur. I don't think it's the worst mission in the game. The worst mission in the game is the Lurkers Below, because that's the insta-win mission. I do not like that at all. Moving on to a couple of stats about the event before we continue with our coverage here of the game, or jump into the coverage of the game, I should say, is we have got in our order slot 14 lists represented out of 32, 7 Chaos, 7 Destruction, and 4 Death. Moving over to our factions represented, we have got 3 Idoneth, Nighthaunt, and Stormcast. Obviously everything there middling for 2s. We're seeing one of the Maggotkin lists and one of the 2 Lumineth lists. And we've got Beasts of Chaos, which look like they might even potentially take the final. Flesh Eater Courts, and then Nurgle more tribes repping 1. Lurkers is an insta-win, Luke. What? Stupid mission. Anyway, then factions not represented. We've got no Big War, we've got no Caradron, we've got no Sylvaneth, none of that crap. And then grand strategies out of the 32. This is quite a saddening sight. 20 of those 32, so a whole 62.5% of the stuff are represented in only 2 of the generic grand strategies here. And then the other 2 generic ones are Show of Dominance and Defend What's Ours. They make up a massive 10% at most. Else is all faction specific. Sad state of the game. And like, come on, GW, make the grand strategies a bit more like achievable. Anywho, here we go. We are on the battlefield now. We have got Joe versus David, Lumineth versus Maggotkin. I don't think there is I don't think the Lumineth have quite the damage output to make massive holes in this Nurgle army, but I also don't think the Nurgle army is gonna like. I think it's gonna be quite a slow game. I think for the next 2 hours and 37 minutes, we're gonna be seeing some games of Warhammer, because that is as long as left on the time, unless one of these players makes a phenomenal mistake, which is always potentially very possible. Now, David placing his whole army relatively aggressive, which makes a lot of sense. There are no Sentinels in Joe's list, No Sentinels in Joe's list? Nope, none of those. They did take a bit of a nerf in the new book, but we are getting the pre-game move from our Flies. Now remember, quarters be our dividing point here on map. So, let me just do this. And I realize you guys can't see my annotations because I forgot to turn it on this morning. Bang, there you go. Quarters, they are your objective points. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right there. And the left-hand camera is already having a bit of an issue. You see those Maggotkin, those Puskar Blightlords moving up there on the side of the battlefield. If we take a look at our view close side, you can see we've got some stony slow boys there off to the bottom left, and the impending doom of the Nurgle showing their face distance, and then see wonderful Nurgle army that David does have indeed. Loab right at the back. Priority given from David away to Joe, so Joe is going to get the turn. Yeah, Turf War's pretty interesting. Nice cold Lucozade. We are commentating as well from Sanctuary Gaming Centre here in Sutton in Ashfield. A wonderful gaming centre that has all sorts of stuff like card games and board games and war games going on as well. So if you're ever interested, self on over. Now, the battle plan obviously being table quarters, counting as objectives. They are also treated as objectives for the purposes of grand strategies and battle tactics and abilities. This list would be fantastic for a Hammers of Sigmar player who are permanently within range. That's 6 at Ward army wide. And against the odds chosen from Joe, pretty damn simple, choosing that table quarter that he is currently. Not know what is happening with our left. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. So excuse its insolence. Joe's turn, we can see that. You're right, can we see what the card is? Not quite, but buff spells coming out from Joe here. Might as well make his cows nice and tanky. Did beat Lumineth, yes. Did beat Lumineth yesterday. Holy crap. Okay, so table 1 has already finished. Wow. Holy crap. Sorry, gents. I'm just... Wow, talk about the mission screwing you over. No, I agree, Luke. It is a non-game. I really don't like this mission. I really don't like this mission. This mission in that particular matchup is really bad for them. Really bad. Nope, no. Rex, he didn't concede. They've just played their 5 turns. Toby's army requires teleporting and movement stuff to be able to get where it needs to be and do some damage. And Freddy's army sits in the side and the corners of the board and doesn't do anything. Very strange. Anyway, Umbra Spell Portal rocking on out. From Joe on the Lumineth side. Yep, summon all the Ungor, put them in different corners as far away from each other as possible, make it nearly impossible for... no, make it just flat out impossible for Toby to win the game. The problem with this mission, right, because the objectives are the entire quarters, it means if you have the ability to just outweigh your opponent on models, you're going to win. I don't know if they're re-racking and playing a different mission because give each other a game. Feel pretty bad. Anyway, that isn't the game that was on stream. And I wish it was, because then I would have been over and done with and I could have had a nap. But I hope you're all doing good. Thank you very much for sticking by. I am currently trying to wangle down Dan Buchanan, our Lumineth player here. Give us some more insight. So that we can have a bit more insight onto what is happening from the Lumineth side at this point. Also, he could go and get me the battle tome from his car because I don't. So the Lumineth battle tome and the Sons of Bahamut battle tome came out 2 weeks ago or a week ago. They were allowed to be used here. Expert Conquerors will be strong this game, indeed. And David Weimer with his Drowned Men has no Expert Conquerors in sight. However, Joe Jackson does indeed have unit of 20 Stone Guard and a unit of 10 Stone Guard in play as experts. So they've already finished on table 1. Toby didn't concede though, did he? He played. Oh, they just talked it out. Okay, fair play. No, it would have been a perfect stream game. I'd have been able to go to sleep. Now I'm just sat here having no bloody clue what's going on because Lumineth. I think Dan's gone to get it. Now I can have a chat. Sorry, chat. Huh? Alright, I got Dan's. Exclamation mark lists in the chat if you want to be able to see what lists are currently in play. Oh, 10, 5, and 5. Yeah, that'll be it. Don't you dare sit down with that book, Dan. Oh, you might be coming to sit next to me, to be fair. Oh my god, what is happening with these top-down cameras? Hello. Alright. Toppy. Let's go to the left and see what... I hate this thing sometimes. Okay, we are still in Joe's turn 1 against the odds being on his... Oh, I clicked the wrong button. Sorry, chat. Yes. Half move on the unit of 4 flies. I think they are a nice, slow 4-inch move. They are already only 8 inches movement. Now being 4 makes it even... Oh, view close. You want to... There you go, Spatch. And there is the Light of the Althari, and they're moving up into that part of the board. The pre-game move from the Flies, solidly locking down 3 out of 4 of those quarters. It is going to be on Joe to try and get those Moo Cowboys in a position where they can be in the table quarters to reclaim those objectives. Now, obviously the Flies count as 2 each. So if we go back to the top down. If we look for David, we have 2 here, 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. A lot in his own quarter. And then it was all about Joe getting these 5 in here to count as 15. And then these 5 in here to count as 15. So what David's going to have to do is he's going to have to send these flies up this way to try and deal with those 15. These flies are probably going to have to make their way over here. I don't think there is actually enough space. Enough models on David's side of the battlefield to get where he needs to in time to stop Joe being a little more, a little annoying. I think if I was Joe, I would be looking to basically play cat and mouse as much as possible. So maybe run in and then run in next turn. Run in and run in next turn. Just to help slow down the inevitable stuff. I don't actually know how the Stone Boys do in this scenario. I don't think they stand up to the flies. But maybe what you do is you this turn Joe's gonna get 3 points, right? Sorry, he's gonna get 5 points because of his battle tactic. These flies aren't gonna get up here next turn. These ones will probably get up here. These are only half moves, so they're maybe just solidifying this bit. And at that point, say these go. David's looking at scoring hold 1, hold 2, and his battle tactic. So he's going to be, I reckon at the end of this turn, 5 points for Joe, 4 points for David. These are going to be dead. There's going to be some flies up here, unless there is a redeploy out the way. And then if Joe gets his turn, if Joe wins turn again, he just keeps these in place here. And moves these guys over. Thank you very much, Dan. And then again, Joe will get 5 points in his turn. Four plus save, ignoring Rend 1 and Rend 2. Big unit will have 3 wounds each and all have a 4+ warlord. Holy shit, what? No way, Spadge. That's not real. That's not real. I quite like the Moo Cow models. That's not real, surely. Ooh, here we go, looking at our Moo Boys. Alariath Stone Guard, 4-up save, 2 wounds apiece. In combat, they are pretty rubbish. 2 attacks, 3 threes, -1/1. I say rubbish, it's relatively standard. 2 wounds apiece is pretty damn nice. Whenever the unit is attacked by Rend 1, ignore it. 4+ against mortal wounds while it's contesting an objective. Christ. Jesus wept. And 1 mortal wound in addition with those hammers. On a 6 to wound. This is like baby's first bloody look at this Lumineth book. All friendly Alariath units have enduring rock ability changed to ignore Rend 1 and 2. Oh my god, this is going to be a difficult fight uphill. Both of these armies are so tanky. It's going to be relentlessly drawn out for the entire time. And I'm going to have to like have a nap halfway through. The 4-up ward on the Stone Guard side versus the 5-up ward there on Nurgle side. All of them in this mission contesting whole objectives. This is pretty pretty dire to say the least, I think. Light of Elfarian looking good with 8 wounds and a 3+ base save. He has a Rend 3, 2s to hit, 3s to wound, Rend 3, 3 damage, 4 attacks, weapon. And then 2 attacks, 2s and 3s, -1, 3 on that. Absolutely cray-cray. Did they fix the Blade Lords yet? I'm just about to get to the Stone Mage, Luke. I was looking at the battle line units first. Let's move on to the Stone Mage and see just how much he can do here in this matchup for Joe. We'll get to Techless in just a second. Over to the Stone Mage, 5 wounds, relatively standard wizard attacks in combat. Start the combat phase, you can say that it will adopt the Stone Mage stance. If you do, any friendly Stone Guard unit wholly in 12 inches of this model cannot make piling moves. However, improve the Rend characteristic by 1, making them Rend 2 on those hammers and a damage apiece. And enduring as rock, the same, ignore a point of Rend. Then Gravitonic Redirection. A casting value of 5. A range 18 inches. If successfully cast until your next hero phase, the caster can fly. In addition, pick an enemy unit within range. You add until your next hero phase, the move characteristic is halved and cannot fly. Hence the Umbral Spell Portal going into the center of the battlefield there and making that big unit of 4 half speed. Pretty damn good. And then the extra spell, Unbreakable Stoicism, and the command trait. Let's have a cheeky look at those bad boys. What we got, Fulby? What we got, boys? What we got? Spell laws. Unbreakable Stoicism. Casting value of 7 and a range of 12. If successfully cast, pick a Stone Guard unit wholly within range and visible to the caster. So you, yeah, 5-up mortals, Luke, as you mentioned, garbagely strong. I love it. The thing is, I don't know. I don't think the book's busted. I just think it's a bit negative. Unyielding Toughness being the command trait. At the start of the hero phase, pick a Stone Guard unit wholly in 6. Add 1 to the wounds characteristic, meaning they are 3 wounds a pop. That blocker 10 right there. Stoically holding 30 wounds with a 4+ save, ignoring Rend 2 and a 4-up ward on an objective. Whew. And they count as 30 models. Then last but not least, we go to the Artifact of Power. Is the Molten Talisman. Add 1 to the wound rolls for attacks made with Alarith units wholly in 12 of the bearer. If it didn't charge this turn. +1 to wound. Innately for being wholly in 12. Saves a triumph. Pretty nice. And then Total Eclipse, as we know, unless it has changed. Double the cost of command points. Oh, lost the top-down camera. What is going on today? 2 command points to issue a command instead of 1. Ouch. Really going to be hurting. And then we'll take a cheeky quick look at those ballistas as well. Because I imagine they're going to be added acting as quite a defense point here for Joe. You know, you go into that unit of 30, we're going to be smacking you in the face with ballistas. If I can find them in our down book. There we go. 30 range, 3 attacks, 2s and 3s with a -2 rend and D3 damage. High rend, variable damage. If it doesn't move, it gets a 6-up ward. Add 6 inches to the range to 36 inches if it's within 12 inches of another ballista or a sentinel, and you are within 12 of another ballista. That is why Joe is taking 2. Make them a 36-inch range, super safe, out of the way. If it's a monster, the bolt damage is 3 instead of D3, so you'll be able to pick out those heroes on mounts. Blinding bolts. Once per battle, you can pick this unit to shoot and say it will fire a blinding bolt. In addition to any damage inflicted, units that are hit by an attack made by this unit in that phase are dazzled and -1 from their hit rolls the entire time until next turn, until the end of this turn, sorry. So if you want to go into something and want to give it a bit of a debuff, you can slap it in the face with one of those bolts. A pow. Holy smokes. Looking pretty darn good there. Pretty solid showing from the Lumineth book. And then we have got our Maggotkin of Nurgle, our fly spam from David. Tested, true, tried, natured, wonderful list that we've got going on here. He is moving up the board, ran the unit of 4 right up to the center. Is sort of planning a bit of a weird sort of attack formation, I guess. Is interesting, but These have come down to this point, I think, just to hide out a little bit. They're only 4 models. You have to be wholly in to claim. So what have we got here for Joe? Sorry, let us get the line tool, right? So say these are the quarters. Oh, I forgot you had deep striking stuff. We've got 5. 5 and 4, which is equal to 9 here for David. 15 because of Expert Conquerors here for Joe. Then we've got, this is just David's. This is undoubtedly Joe's. It's this one up here where we do have these up here, but now we've got, I think these are split over this quarter actually. I think we've only got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think we've got 10 over here. David, this might be David's, so it might be hold 1, hold 2, but it's not going to be hold more, and he's not going to hold David's. Again, oh, sorry, flashbang. Against the odds again, chosen as the battle tactic. Meaning it'll be a 4-5 going into priority for turn 2. Now, if Joe is able to retain the priority throughout this game, which he will, like, statistically has a better chance of holding the priority, it's going to be better because it means that he can hold that 1-point lead for as long as possible. Obviously, those flies are going to become a bit of a problem, but there is nothing stopping Joe leaving this unit here, potentially trying to get some stuff over this way to reclaim this corner, backing away with everything else, just to try and hold them out. It's going to be interesting to see just how much Joe can weather this storm and how much David can try and put out. It's weird saying that in a Lumineth Nurgle matchup. I genuinely thought it would be a case of it would see how much damage Joe can do, but I think it's more going to be a case of having to play around where these Pusgal Blightlords are going and whether or not we can hold the fort a little bit here. Roger. That is the unit of Blade Lords there in the center, taking a wound from the charging of the Pusgal Blight Lords. Let's have a cheeky, sneaky look at the Blade Lords profile. Venari Blade Lords. They don't have a War Scroll improvement on Ward. But does the terrain feature still count as mystical to them? No, it doesn't. The Lumineth just have a 6-up wall. Why would they not? No, so I'm wondering where the ward save came on those Blade Lords there. Where it came from. They lost the spell ignore, but weapon profiles got much better. Well, when you've got a wizard such as Teclis on the battlefield, the spell ignore is almost irrelevant. Because you can just unbind spells at a whim. Thank you very much, Spadge. Appreciate that. 5+ ward in Teclis's. God, I don't want to do a Lumineth army. There's too much bleed in detail, but I want to do a Lumineth army. Let's have a look at the mountain cows. I want to see these mountain cows. Show me. Lost the view close. Camera after camera, they are falling down. Spirit of the Mountain, here we go. 14 wounds with a 6-inch move, nice and slow. Such a gargantuan monster is also a totem. If it does not make a charge move, add an attack to the characteristic of the melee's weapons. Oh. Pretty good. When this unit is targeted by an attack that has a weapon, okay, so it ignores a rend point. Start of the shooting phase, at the start of the combat phase. Pick an enemy unit within range of the Stoneheart shock ability. -1 from hit rolls. Very, very debuffy. Use the top row of the profile regardless of wounds suffered if the Stone Mage is nearby. And its command ability is Alarial Elf. Or Alaralith Elf. And add 1 to the attack's characteristics of melee weapons until the end of the phase. Can be issued D3 times in the same phase. Holy smoke. There is a lot of buffs going on there. +1 to rend, +1 to attack. Those little stone hammers could be quite formidable. And then you've got the power of the cow behind it to be able to lock that up, do some like roars or some stomps if needs be, maybe even destroy a whole terrain piece. Well. Joe is standing outside the room so he can listen to our expert commentary. The AOS box is still around. They are indeed. There is some Lumineth on the shelf here at Sanctuary Gaming Center. However, I couldn't justify painting them unless I'm going to do a concept army on them. Get it done nice and quickly. Take a quick look at the view close there. See the impending Nurgle slowly, shortly, and stoically walking up the battlefield. There. View right gives us a really good opportunity to see those flies when they have come down, and they are being a bit of a pain and a pest for Joe. Difficult to shift. 8 wounds apiece, so 16 in total there in that one of 2. 32 set of wounds there in the center of the battlefield in that unit of 4. All about how much damage Joe can weather. How much damage David can do, I think, at this point. That was a really quick turn against the odds achieved. And just hold 1. He doesn't hold the other objective, or the other quarter, in the top right-hand side of the room. And Joe does win priority here for the turn, managing to get a 2-point lead in turn 1. Getting himself a nice, comfortable lead. And then being able to retain priority. I did say at the very start of the game this was going to be key for Joe to get those early points, rack them up as quickly as possible. If it's a 1-point lead every turn for 2 turns, 3 turns, it becomes a lot more difficult for David to pull this back here. But as we know, Nurgle have the ability to whittle down and whittle down and whittle down, and then all of a sudden turn 3, turn 4, you're losing half your army. The problem is all of the front line for Joe has a 4-up ward save across pretty much the entire map. Absolutely crazy. I want to have a look at the available battle tactic here. Ignore the odds. He was against them in turn 1. Decided to ignore them for turn 2. What are the cards that he's placed under the models? Flash cards. The cards that Joe has put down are his spell cards. So he has got, I think they're available on AOS Short's website. One of the resources on there. It is faction spell cards. You can print out. I think he's just mounted them to the back of some like basic lands for Magic or something, and then whacked them in a sleeve. Now he uses those as text reminders and also a really good reminder for your opponent what is going on. It is a really nice way to have something on the tabletop so you can see what's going on. Works clean, works well, looks nice. So ignore the odds here. Lumineth Realmlords specific battle tactic. Let's see how easy this is going to be achieved for him. When you reveal this battle tactic, pick a friendly Lumineth Realmlord unit and one enemy unit that are within an inch of each other. Complete this tactic if the unit is destroyed this turn and the Lumineth Realmlord unit you picked has not yet been destroyed. So what he's going to do, the only available unit here is this and the Blade Lords. I imagine the Blade Lords are going to retreat from combat. Everything else is going to go into these flies to try and kill them. Solid 2 points here, and a relatively easy 2 points compared to some available battle tactics. We'll wreck in the joint next door. Water. And game's already finishing by the looks of things. Table 1 did indeed re-rack and started playing again. Mark Ward, who he had on game 1, looking pretty solid there in bottom table, I believe. And there we go, the spells coming down from Joe. Protection spells. I imagine Total Eclipse will have gone off, because why would you not want your opponent to spend two command points for no bloody reason instead of one? When you're playing against a Seraphon player, it means that they have a normal amount of command points, but when you play against anything else, it means that you are going to be really hindering their ability to do stuff. One of the downsides here for David is only having a few amount of models. He relies on turn 1 and 2 going down in his expectations, or down in his command points and VPs usually, to then throw themselves right back up and win turns 3, 4, and 5. And that's one of the great things about Warhammer, is that it is a 5-turn game. Unless you are absolutely ruined by something that happens early game, you have 5 turns to be able to try and bring back points. 5 turns to be able to try to win. And with only a 2-point gap going up, he could stay as he is pretty much. Do his damage, kill those 2 flies. Got 2 ballistas shooting at you, Techless being a pain in the arse. The Light of Alfarian can move across if needs be. Go and smack them in the face, along with the Unit 10 Stone Guard. You could not move anything else, or move it as far away as possible, just to be annoying. Get yourself hold 1, hold 2, hold more again. It's going to be a little more difficult here for... I mean, Joe can't teleport, right? If he could teleport in this mission, it'd be different. Because he would just essentially do what Freddy did with bringing units on. He'd just teleport into the corners. Teleport a unit into each corner and stand it still, do nothing else. Easy peasy. Living life. Finished. 2 hours left, and we've got more games finishing. Our table 12 also finished. Table 1 finished. A couple more games getting done here and there. This game, I believe, is going to go for at least another hour and a half. In this particular instance, because we have the tanky and formidably strong Nurgle. And we've got the Lumineth Realmlord also. Quite a tanky build. Turn 2, we'll see how much damage these flies can do on the charge. He's going to be charging with 1 Lord of Afflictions at least, 1 unit of 4 flies, 1 unit of 8 wounds each on those flies. 4 up save, 5 up ward. Total Eclipse has gone off, making it much more difficult. Is going to be quite an interesting set of games going on here. Across this battlefield, Tom Waller, our wonderful representative from the Dragon Slayers that comes and commentates with us every now and then, usually during heats, qualified for the final, else he would have been here. Me now is 2-1, potentially fighting for a podium space. If it's going good or is it going bad? Gonna see on his face. Going to drop him a message. Actually, he is over the other side of the room, but he is focusing on his game. Thomas. Very kindly has dropped me his spare Sons of Behemoth Battle Tome. Only uses the app pretty much. Nice for me because I like to have a tactile book sat right in the palm of my greasy little hands. Gaff showing all up and down the field here. Here we go. Ballista's going ballistic into these Nurglings. Ren 2, D3 damage. 2 damage, sorry. 2 more damage. Takes one of those flies down. 7 wounds taken. 1 left on that fly, meaning 9 left in that battle. In that unit. And the other bolt going ahead and wounding 3 times? No, twice, because yep. Both go through because it's a rend 2. 6 damage. Jesus. Oh, sorry, that was on Blowab. That was on Blowab, of course. 1 saved, so 5 wounds on Blowab. Blowab Rotspawn. Really good Rotspawn brother. Only 7 wounds left now. The wonderful number of Nurgle. Where you've got the ability to do potential splash mortal wounds at the start of each combat and shooting phase. And every time damage is done to a unit in any phase on a 2-up with his spell that casts on a 6 at a range of 14 on a 2-up E3 mortal wounds, it's really good with things like the Burning Head to be able to do it in the do it in the what's it phase? Hero phase. You Burning Head, do D3 mortal wounds, then D3 mortal wounds again because the miasma of pestilence. Then in the movement phase, not a lot. Then in the shooting phase, if you can get something like Blowab or his brother in to be able to shoot a unit, another D3 mortal wounds, you're up to 3 D3. Charge phase, impact hits, another D3, so 4 D3. Up to another D3 on top of that in the combat phase. And in the battle shock phase, you have the disease. You can get 6 D3 damage. 6 D3 mortal wounds on a unit from that one spell, Miasma of Pestilence. Such a good spell. Very potent, very strong. pain in a lot of people's arses. As I literally give the camera attention, guys. We can see that we've got some charges coming in now from Joe. He doesn't have the Light of Alfarian in, who is chilling out here. I think his Ren 3 would have been key to try and get it in here, but it then would have opened him up to this. I wonder if he was looking for a long bomb charge this way. Have retreated those Blade Lords correctly, Joe. Keep them out of combat for this turn because you want to keep your battle tactic hopes alive. Ignore the odds. If you drop one of these battle tactics, you're undoing the work that you've done so far. David has only got 3 points. David has already dropped 2 points this turn, last turn. You can't afford, as Joe, to drop any more points or drop any points. Every point you drop gives David a way back into the game. If he can get another 2-point lead this turn and increase that to a 4-point lead, it's going to be a lot more difficult for David to catch up in the later on turns. It is a 5-turn game, but you have to maybe tail behind by 1 or 2 before smashing it later on. The other thing that could undo Joe here is losing a double turn. If he can keep the priority, if he can keep scoring first in these battle rounds, he will have the opportunity to steer the game direction. Mortal wounds coming out here. There are 5 mortal wounds in addition to other damage here. Thank you very much. Stone Magus. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 wounds plus the 5 mortals. If he manages to pass these saves first. With friend at -1. 1, 2, 3 passes. Not enough. These are, I think, 2 damage each as well. And, yep, dead. Bang. Just looking at the wounds there, he did have more saves to make as well, I believe, but... Gone are those flies. Battle tactic achieved. David actually conceding the quarter in the top right-hand side there. So hold 1, hold 2. Sorry, Joe conceding the corner in the top corner there. Hold 1, hold 2 being a pain. That is it. I think Joe was maybe being greedy and hoping he can get a charge into Blowout with the Light of Alfarian there. Sort of towards that central point of the battlefield down here. Failed the charge. Struggled from that point of view. But Joe in strong here. Hold 1 and hold 2 because he does hold that bottom one. He holds top left and bottom left. He holds nothing more. Battle lines draw here. Our mission for turn numero 2. Really quickly going to update the app. Half a second. Okay, yep. I was correct in the understanding that Joe had moved off that corner unintentionally, and the players have just agreed to go back. They've been having a nice conversation. It seems wonderfully rounded in there. Both players having a time of their life. Having a good conversation with each other, having a laugh, remembering that whilst they are playing for a potential spot in the final here, the final of the finals, game number 5 will be coming to you this afternoon. The ability to have a strong showing here, taking that 4th win, is now on David to decide what he is going to do. Both players having a good conversation, having a good chat about what has happened. Having talked about battle tactics, David being very gracious and saying to Joe, move those Stone Guard back because claiming objectives happens, counting them at the end of the turn. The only time that you don't claim an objective previously is at the start of the game. I'm going to double check that because now I am questioning myself. Core rules. Objectives. After setup is complete, but before the first battle round begins, after any use of any abilities, each player gains control of all objectives that are within 6 inches of any friendly models, and more than 6 inches from all enemy models. In addition, at the end of each turn, after the battle shock phase, you must check to see if you have gained control of any objectives. To do so, count the number of friendly models that are contesting each objective. You gain control of an objective if there are more friendly models. So it's the end of each turn, not the end of each player turn. Sorry, the end of each player turn, not the end of each of your turns. If it had said the end of each of your turns, then you could control it, move away, and it would change the game completely. But the droning chosen for David here as his battle tactic, that is complete this tactic if there is a different friendly unit with a rot fly mount in each quarter. So you will want to be in each quarter anyway. Will also want to be in each quarter for your battle tactic. Now, he's got one in this quarter. Well, the quarters, my understanding, are something like this. He's got this one, he's got this one, he's got this one. Just needs these to come through and stay solid. There. Kit Kat. Thank you so much for joining me for game number 4. Game 1 today, 4 of the tournament. David making sure that he's getting those flies into a position where they are in David's quarter. Never know, he could fail a double one re-rollable. That option, while not wanted to be on the cards, is definitely there. 4 players left, 3-0. Who will win? Side. Thank you so much for joining us, chat. We are about halfway to the amount of subscribers that we need for monetization. 1,700 hours watched. We've got 2,300 hours. Space of 4 months we've done. Exclamation mark lists in the chat if you want to see the lists. The players, our wonderful players are playing. The Flyers getting themselves there in the quarters. They are just measuring up quarters. In actual fact, we could see David getting the tape measure to make sure that he is getting his droning, which it looks like he is already. He could end his turn if he really wanted to. However, currently claiming one in the top right. One objective in the bottom right there. His home objective. Or his quarter. Blow-up being a pain. And also charging now in Joe's turn, meaning... in his turn, meaning Joe won't get to fight with the Light of Altharion. Because I'm a Lumineth, I can usually choose 2 units to fight. Not going to get that same gracious opportunity, but we are bringing the Rotmire Creed up now. Be able to splash some disease around Joe's castle. See what he can do. We're trying to throw disease onto the Light of Altharion here. Hasn't got a massive amount of wounds left. I think Blowab could probably do that on his own. I don't think he needs the help. However, the help could be appreciated. Sorry, chat. There we go. The Flies moving in the top right-hand corner. If I was Joe, I might have redeployed those there. Got them further away and discouraged a potential charge from David. Needs that battle tactic in the top right. Don't think they're going to live, although they are 15 models versus 6 currently. Joe needs 3 of those Stone Guard to live, as they are expert conquerors. Fly moving about, making sure it is in that quarter. He does want the droning. He also wants to be in a position to issue those command abilities. Sure, he is right in that corner. You might as well do it early on. Could have even done it turn 1 and been a lot safer and a lot less restrictive on where he is going. Who's that little boy that keeps moving up there? I don't know, but it is gone. Whatever it was, it is now gone. Oh, summoning some Nurglings in. It would have been a Sloppity Bile Piper for the summon, which he has now since swapped out for those Nurglings. Those Nurgling bases, nothing short of frustrating, annoying. Shooting attacks from the Rockmire Creed going over, putting down 2 disease tokens. Unfortunately for David, he can't make the use of their ability and splash it to every other within 3 inches, as Light of Alfarian is nice and far away. But it does mean that there is the potential for taking 2 more mortal wounds at the end of this phase, or the end of this turn, sorry. But I'm pretty sure Bloab Rotspawn is also going to do some shooting. Hope for some more disease. And then charge. Seeing a dead Light of Alfarian, but it has proved a pretty decent roadblock. Bloab looking like he has healed some wounds since last time we saw him. He has healed a pair of wounds. Might have to throw those Ballistae into Bloab. No double turn possibility here for Joe, just the hopeful retention of priority. Keeping points ahead. He's currently 7 points ahead with a turn in hand for David. It will be hold 1, hold 2. Might be hold more. Who knows? This is the charge down in the bottom left. 3-inch charge isn't going to be enough. He's going to have to re-roll it, I think. Else, Joe still outnumbers him because it's currently 15. 15 models there for Joe. Here we go. I think this is the re-roll. Putting a marker down. It's looking like a 7. 6. You're actually, yeah, you're going to need a 6 inches to get in there. And it's a 5. My God. That was painful. That leaves them solidly in play, which is going to get Joe yet another VP into this turn. It is going to be nothing short of difficult now for David to rack this back before turn 4. But, you know, we are seeing Lord of Afflictions charge in round the back in the top, making sure there is another fly in that position. D3 mortal wounds, 3 mortal wounds onto that unit of Stone Guard. The ward saves go through. Oh my God, the man's a... Joe's microwave those dice to within an inch of their life, but done it perfectly. Made sure that there are just enough 5s and 6s going out that all his wards are absolutely fine. Testing an objective that they control. Indeed the case, which means he's getting his ward save. And then another charge from those drones. Got to make sure. Got to be really careful here, David, because if those drones aren't wholly within... The wording is wholly within. Wait. Oh, no. If it's in each quarter. Okay, so you don't need wholly, but you're absolutely fine. He'll be absolutely fine. I thought it was Holy Within. He's good. He's good. He just needs to have a different unit in each quarter. Not Holy Within. That's something that interests me, like surprises me as well, that it isn't Holy Within. You would expect that. And charges coming in. I can't believe he failed that one on the left-hand side. That is going to hurt. The players just having a chat about something that might have been missed. Wrong. Saddened. Sorry, I'm talking about myself there, not the game. No, I'm joking. 10-inch charge there for Blowab again. Alright, so scoring the objective, he is Holy Within. So he needs to be really damn careful now about making sure that he does stay Holy Within. Blowout rot spawn. No impact hits. But I hope that we've already used a CP reroll as well. Two more wins taken on Mr. Light of Alfarian. 3 now taken. Not a double one on this charge, please. Oh, sorry, this is Oh, I think we're straight into the combat phase here. Attacks going through. 3 wounds left on our Light of Altharian. Let's hope he gets to make strikes first, or before he dies. Oh, sorry, 1 taken. The ward saves, yes. We take a look at the close cam. This is the current fight that is going on. Blowout versus Light of Altharian. Dead center of your screens. Are they what? No? Fine for me. Just saying, has the stream gone off? I think so. Stream's not gone off. Fine for me. Joe coming in strong here. Light of Alfarian taking 7 wounds. Got 1 left. Blowab not quite enough to be able to kill it right now, but there is the potential for some Battle Shock mortal wounds as there is 7 disease points sat on the Light of Alfarian. But how many mortals go through, and then how many ward saves can Joe make? Also, the Light of Alfarian does have a lot of damage in his profile. Could kick out some right back into Blowab. Either not charging those 4 flies or not getting in. Fortunate to say the least. Oh, well. That is, the dice roll-ins from David are poor, man. 5 wounds taken on the Lord of Afflictions there. So 4 wounds taken from the Lord of Afflictions there. Onto the little unit of cowboys. Ah. Painting some horse boys. What are they called, Smadge? What's the name of them? Venari. speed walkers, speed runners, speed slitherers. I don't know. Insert name here, I guess. And we're looking for saves. I can't quite see because of the terrain how many models Joe has up there. I think it's currently 3, which means that's how many he needs, or maybe even 4, but that's how many he needs. In fact, it's less now because the Lord of Afflictions charged out of that quarter. Joe simply needs 2 of those Wardens, or those Moo Cows, to live if they are the Expert Conqueror ones. Alarian Reavers. Actually, High Elf Horde. Oh, wow. Okay, fair enough, Smudge. Interesting. Players finishing up now. The game, there is 1 hour and 27 minutes left in this round. And I can see our turn 2 here. We're at the bottom of turn 2, but the turn 2 here might actually take that long. 50% of the way through the game, including deployment time, setup, conversations, drinks, toilets. I've decided that the 3-hour round timer in Age of Sigmar is actually a 3-hour social timer for people. Enjoy that, Spadge. Enjoy. Easily attacks on the flies, going back into that little unit. We saw how smoothly that unit of 4 flies got lifted off the table by Joe. I reckon we're going to see 4 flies easily get lifted again. Oh, sorry, there were 2 flies earlier. I reckon we could see half, if not all, of that unit get lifted this turn. That would leave David with a very sore point. Oh my god, nothing but 1s and 2s, my dude. Double 6 on the ward save. Wow. Joe rolling hot. Not rolling hot there with 2 wounds taken. Blow, I didn't even see Blow Up get removed. Jesus Christ, the Light of Alfarian went through him like Curry through a toddler. Holy shit. Light of Alfarian lives on 1 wound. Bloody hell. If Joe retains priority, he can heroically heal that disease off and then put himself in a position to go and charge at a Lord of Afflictions and take it out. He went through Blow-Ab really quickly, did 9 wounds to him. He could easily do the same thing with one of those LOAs. Crazy. And the scoring for David will be hold 1, hold 2, but not hold more, and a battle tactic achieved for the droning. Other than that, you're looking at a 3-point deficit going into turn 3 priority. And if Joe can hold this, he can retain, if not extend that lead. And it's on to David to try and catch up. Here we go, looking for that priority roll. David on a Nurgle dice, Joe on whatever he pleases. What are we going to go for, gentlemen? Who's going to win this priority roll? We'll see. You are more than welcome to join me if you want to, Mr. Thomas Waller. I hope you're doing well. You can whack the headset on, and I can pull you in. Turn this down a little bit. And I will turn... I was going to say turn you on, but I'll turn you up. Oh, how you doing, sir?
Not too bad, thank you. How about yourself?
I am very well. Thank you so much for joining me after your game has been finished for, like, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes so far?
Yeah. No, I've only just finished.
Okay, fair play. Well, thank you for joining us. You know, you've played 4 games of Warhammer already this weekend, and now you're going to come and commentate on probably what... You can stay as little or as long as you like. But full disclosure, it's Lumineth versus Nurgle.
Bye.
Something about this because it keeps when it clips, it just mutes us for some reason. But we have got Joe versus David, Lumineth versus Maggotkin. Joe has managed to extend a 3-point lead. Turns 1 and 2 was given turn 1 in this battle plan. I hate this battle plan. Stupid battle plan. I mean, it doesn't matter for you in this mission. You've got no teleports, right? And you like to be in everywhere you can be. So you're happy, I guess, in this.
I was pretty happy, but unfortunately Nurgle was summoning all over the place.
Yeah.
As I'm sure we'll see in this one.
Yeah, well, I mean, we've got some Nurglings going in down here. David has unfortunately been rolling hot garbage. This is a 6-inch charge, which he failed with a reroll. Either he didn't make this charge, didn't see the dice, or just didn't roll it for that 3-inch of the flies going in. And the only saving grace for him is he's actually just won priority this turn. David having a 3-point lead in at the start of turn 3. I was just saying to the chat earlier, Joe having that lead. If Joe can retain the priority for the rest of the game, he can just keep racking the same, if not more, victory points against David.
Well, Joe looks quite pinned back into his deployment now.
He does, however, this unit is... not drawing. This unit here is a unit of 5 stone guard that are in Expert Conquerors. They're 15 models,
okay,
and they get a 4 at ward because of their war scroll. There was originally a unit of 5 here that were holding that, but there isn't. So Joe's going to hold this one easily, and he's going to hold this one in his if these guys don't die.
Can they not just walk over?
They are in,
okay,
but they're the Rotmire Creed. So there's only 10 there, and there's only 4 there. So these count as 15 at the moment.
So he needs 2 more to take it.
He needs 2 more to take it, but...
That hero in the middle.
Well, you could Lord of Afflictions, or you could do this. I think... I mean, it doesn't matter now because Joe's not got the turn, but Joe could have got those Stone Guard charging around here to claim this side, this quarter of the objective. Obviously, no teleports makes it very difficult for him to be able to do that. Be able to just maneuver where he would like to.
But now he's pinned back in his deployment. I think David's got the advantage.
Turn 3, yeah, if the priority went Joe's way, I would have put favour in Joe because it would. I reckon he could have got...
He could have pushed out.
Yeah. Whereas, because David now has that... He handed you those like they were £20 notes. Because he now has the priority, David does, he can pin Joe back, as you say, and he can just be nothing more than a nuisance. Oh, nothing short of a nuisance. And that Light of Afarian has only got 2 wounds left. He's going to die. This one just here.
Rotmire Creed will kill him.
He's gone. These guys won't die to the flies. Looking at David's rolling. It took a Lord of Affliction. In fact, I think there's still one. I can't see it because of this bit of terrain. But I think there's still 1 Stone Guard left in combat. I don't think any of those cameras actually cover it. Yeah. Just off to the right-hand side here. Can't quite see. It's just off to this bit here.
Stupid piece of terrain.
And we also can't see. And then the close-up cam also doesn't pick it up because it's just behind that bit of terrain. Both gorgeous-looking armies, though. Like paint jobs.
Yes, very nice.
I don't like Nurgle, and I wasn't a massive fan of Lumineth, but reading the new Stone Guard, I quite like those now. 4 at ward when contesting an objective that you control. Stone Mage to buff them. Mountain Boy to buff them. The Ballista's really good now.
The Ballista was always good. I don't know why people didn't take it.
Well, to be fair, it was good. I think it's better now because it gets that. Maybe it already had it. Did it have the 6-inch buff, range buff, when near another Ballista last book?
No.
But it does now. It's now 36 inches if it's within 12 inches of either another Ballista or a unit of Sentinels.
Hit 36 inches before.
It was 30 inches before, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe it was 36 inches. Maybe they have reduced that. But for 130 points, I didn't think it was too bad to put both of them together.
No.
260 points to be able to get that extra range. And being able to be 3 flat damage against monsters. Hitting on 2s, winning on 3s, I think it is. Ren 2, D3 damage. Disgusting. Very strong. I'll be able to tell you exactly what it is in a minute.
It's a very strong book all round.
Fairly.
Yes.
Yes. I think it's a okay, I'm going to use the word balanced here. For Lumineth, comparative to where they were, it is a very balanced book.
Yes.
That and the Sun's book, I think, are really well-written books in terms of balance.
Yeah, I think they're both going to sit quite nicely in the
They're a mid-table book.
mid-tables, and they're not going to bully people like they did previously.
No, and then I wouldn't call them a gatekeeper army, necessarily. You will have to face them, but I don't think they're going to be as common as stuff like the Feck Terrorgeist spam used to be, for example.
Yeah. Or Slanesh 3 Keepers.
Yeah. That sounds like a really bad video. Slanesh 3 Keepers. Oh, I'll push the power button. That's why that sounds a bit clearer now. So yeah, I think they're going to be quite interesting books to see. I don't know what I think about the Tzeentch book.
Not actually read it yet.
No? It's out. It's out, isn't it now?
It's out.
It's just not been read yet.
I've not seen anybody play it.
No. Obviously, it's not here today because it was just after the cutoff. They did allow the new... It was after... Oh, wait, no. These came out before, right?
Yeah.
These came out after the Tzeentch book.
Yeah, so the Tzeentch book was legal. Nobody's brought it.
Is that because people don't know the tech? Because there is tech in that book, isn't there?
There's always tech in it.
I mean, for a start, you've got a horror block, which is the most negative play experience, apart from Total Eclipse, that I've ever seen. I hate Total Eclipse.
I hate the 2 spells where you have to roll under your bravery to be able to do anything.
Yeah. Also stupid.
At least they can't make you quite so much lower bravery.
Yeah. It is annoying that all those like debuffs and stuff compound themselves with that, with all of that. Just a bit unfortunate. Desecrate their lands chosen as David's battle tactic. I mean, literally any of the terrain pieces in the top left-hand side of the board. Like, it could be this one, this one, this one. Most likely this one.
I would have said most likely that top right one.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's nothing there. Or, if he does go this one, it's because he's bringing the flies around here, and he's going to charge in.
Risky that, though, because if the Stone Guard pile back towards it, then they count 3 models each.
They do. Although, here we go, he actually made that charge now. It's only taken 3 2d6 rolls to get there.
And he's killed one of them on the way in.
Yep. And there'll be a good few levels of disease points going over here, I assume, at the end of the turn. They have stupid amounts of attacks on those flies.
Yes, they do.
I just think it's ridiculous.
Both riders and mount.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for what they are, they should have. I think they should drop their wounds to 7 for a start because it's Nurgle's number.
Yep, that would be thematic.
It doesn't hinder them that much. It takes 1 wound out per model, which isn't that bad.
That would have swung my game just then quite.
Oh, would it have?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, 2 wounds less in a unit.
It just chips here and there, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Having an 8-inch move and an 8 wounds, I'm like, are you playing Khorne? Why aren't they a 7-inch move and 7 wounds? Arguably, they would be quite a bit worse, but would they be a bit more balanced? Would they still be taken? I assume so.
I think so.
I think, while every inch does count, I've heard, being able to actually write a thematic book, I think to me matters more anyway than just having bang 8-inch move.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure what the logic behind the 8-inch.
Maybe they looked at what everything else moves. I mean, what do Plague Bearers move? 6? 5? 4? I don't know. I don't even know. I'd like to know how where they start with that sort of stuff.
I would guess Plague Bearers are a 5 off the top of my head.
4. Wow, they are really slow.
Yeah.
Well, sorry, war scroll speed, they're slow.
As is thematic.
Yeah.
Because they sort of shamble forward.
But, I mean, do you remember last Maggotkin book where the trees gave you, like, plus 3-inch movement and...
Run and charge.
And the bell give you this and that, and all of a sudden they were, like, 13-inch move plague bearers.
Yeah, which was a little ridiculous and didn't fit in with the...
Nurgle.
Yeah.
Just didn't fit in, Tom, did it?
No, I think it's much more... This book is much more thematic.
Yeah. It is much nicer to be able to have them, you know, a bit more slower and stalwart. I mean, you can still get that massive block of 20 plague bearers or 60 wounds if you use the spell.
30 plague bearers.
30 plague bearers, 90 wounds. Are they 1 wound each? No.
They're 2 wounds each.
2 wounds each. You can make them 3 wounds each
with the spell.
Yeah.
That's a brick that will never go.
90 wounds. Crazy, isn't it? I find so the Lumineth have a +1 wound from the Stone Mage onto the Stone Guard as well as an ability. I find that I find the increasing the wound characteristic a very strange one to.
Yes.
Because if one of the models takes 2 wounds,
yep,
and then you lose the spell,
yep,
before you can cast it again, you've killed a model.
Yep.
Which just screws with my head a little bit. You'd have been better not do. I hate -1 damage, but you'd have almost been better doing -1 damage. But I hate it.
I would say negate the first wound allocated to each model.
Yeah. Also a thing. But I just think it's a very strange mechanic and has a couple of weird interactions in it. And I don't think I've ever been a huge fan of it, but I can see why they've done it. Maybe not in the Lumineth book, but
it's the Lumineth book, so they get everything.
Yeah, well, I mean, those Stone Guard have a 4 ward when they're near an objective, or contesting an objective. They have 2 wounds base. They can have 3 wounds. They ignore 1 point of rend. In your Metrica, which Joe is, he ignores a 2nd point of rend.
Yep.
And his hammers do mortal wounds in addition to damage instead of damage. And you can get them up to, I think, 3-4 attacks each. They're pretty bloody horrible to play against. Oh, and you can teleport them with one of the spells.
The only reason rules exist is so that Lumineth can break them.
I definitely have to say, I have been looking at a Lumineth army of just cowfolk. A Lumineth. Lumineth army. Could paint, but I did also say I would only paint or have a Lumineth army if I painted it as a concept army. With a concept scheme, so just like a themat, like a all in shadows or whatever, and pick out certain bits of details or Stone Guard or what. Do you know what I mean?
No comment,
mate. There's far too much detail on those bloody things.
Can't stand concept armies.
I can't stand painting that much detail on my battle line unit.
Painting that much detail.
I don't understand why Cruel Boys, why Gut Rippers have so much bleeding. Like, it's cool, right? The little trinkets and stuff like that. But save them for a hero.
Yeah, it's great that GW are making these gorgeous-looking models, but it's for the average painter, they're pushing the base level out of range of the average painter.
Yeah. I mean, the argument in the turnaround is, well, why don't you just contrast them? And I'm like, yeah, but you still need to use an Artificer XS to get some of these details with contrast.
And I either can't see them or my hands shake, and I can't hit them.
Hence why I'd have to do a concept army for them. Just 1 for speed and 2 for my sanity. Like, I will spend my time painting a hero, right? But I'm very much a player more than I am a painter. And I'd rather get an army on the tabletop and it look passable. I don't want to... I've never been after winning painting awards.
I couldn't possibly win a painting award.
I've only won it by fluke once, and that was in a Star Wars Legion event. It wasn't even in Warhammer. But for painting a 2,000-point army for Warhammer, nah.
The only way I'm winning a painting award is if everybody else's army is painted.
Fair. So we are looking like David is taking hold of that base objective. The bottom corner here. The close-up camera reveals there are only 3 of those Stone Guard left. 1 with a wound, and there is a disease point sat on them too.
Pick up to 2.
At the end of the combat phase. Yep. So we're going to have David, holding this one. Let me write a D. That's not a D, but we'll do it. He'll hold this one. He will hold this one, so he'll get the +3 for the primary, and Desecrate Their Lands will also be achieved, because it will have been this. No way it can't be this one. Because he hasn't charged around here, sort of has to be this objective. So he'll be getting 5 points, which will take him to 12 goes 10. 12 against 10, sorry, with Joe having a turn in hand. Hold 1, hold 2.
Oh, it's not got a hold 3.
Not got hold 3. Be right back. They've also hit backwards on the thing. I'll be 2 seconds.
Push them over to turn 4. Still does push him into the lead, and even if Joe is still holding that bottom left quarter, he won't be for much longer. Possibly not even at the end of this turn. It's also quite difficult now that Joe's pushed back into that corner. He's going to struggle to be able to do any battle tactics to get out of it. David's not got any Galician veteran units. So all the battle tactics that need Galician veteran, they're all out. I highly doubt he's going to kill anything with his general, because I'm assuming that Cathalar in the middle there. Stone Mage. Not going to be able to control more objectives than David. Okay.
There is my knob.
Ben returns to the table and twiddles his knob. Just what I wanted to see.
Well, I mean, it is a Sunday. I usually do it Saturday nights, but for you, Tom, I can do it at any point you are like. I'm just going to go and hack my database now, because they've screwed me. But the reason that fly unit didn't charge is because they did have the roll under your bravery spell on them.
Of course they did.
And they ran in turn 1 because they were half move.
Yep.
And then they failed their bravery to be able to charge in. So they haven't done anything this turn.
Oh.
Joe is setting up to hopefully do a double turn here.
So why did David not score?
Hold more.
Hold more.
Because I think.
No, absolutely.
Unless. Oh, no, do you know what it. Hang on. I was going to say it could have been that this guy isn't wholly in that quarter, but this guy wouldn't have also wholly been in the quarter in that. I don't actually know, to be fair with you, Tom. I'm afraid I can't answer that question, because there isn't anything up here. This is empty up this corner.
Yep.
So you'd think he'd hold that one, and he already holds that one because there's units already in it. Unless, actually,
they might not be.
That might not be wholly in. That might just be out. And because Joe was the last one to hold it, he still technically holds it, even though he's got no models there. David has models in it, but their unit has to be wholly in.
No, the model has to be
the model has to be wholly in.
Yeah.
Not the unit. Okay. I thought it was a unit in this.
No,
if it's model, then it's a bit more forgiving, right? So you actually, in that case, you think he would claim that top right quadrant?
No, because I think both flies are at least partially.
Oh, you believe so? That's the another problem with this mission is, without me putting lines actually physically on the tabletop, I can't see. I have to guesstimate at best. But if those flies don't get a redeploy, go back, Joe will still hold that top objective.
Yeah.
Which means
he can rack up some extra points.
And then he's starting to leave David behind again. I mean, he's a turn in hand. He's only 1 point down. We're about to find out what his battle tactic is when I go and jailbreak into my database and delete some stuff.
He's going to struggle to do any battle tactics from that position.
Gaining momentum. Kill a thing, hold more.
How's he going to hold more?
Well, if, as discussed, he holds this one,
Yep.
He holds this one.
Yeah.
All he needs to do is run something over this way, or kill these flies.
I think the Lord of Afflictions is in it now, and I think the Rotmire Creed is in it as well.
So it's just, maybe he just brings the Stone Guard down then. Because these are also Conquerors.
Are they Stone Guard?
Yeah, that's Unit 10 Stone Guard. Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe, maybe then.
So maybe they run down this way and delete these.
Is that a Lord of Affliction?
This is a Lord of Afflictions, yeah.
Don't know whether they'll be able to kill him.
Well, they went through 2 flies with no bother.
Yeah, but the Lord of Affliction is notoriously difficult to kill.
You do also have 2 ballistas. And techless to shoot, to do some mortal wounds or something to him. I think if, basically, apart from that unit of 4 in the middle, I think at this point in the game, if Joe wants a unit dead,
he can kill it.
He can kill it, but he has to put his resources in. And I think that's going to be the sort of sticking point for this position, this particular point. Sorry, I need to go through and I need to fix this database. That's what I need to do, Top. Fix the database. You know, on stream we've had a total of 655 different turns.
Wow.
Streamed. Fun.
Some of them lost to the ether.
Yeah, well, speaking of lost to the ether, let me just get rid of this turn 4 nonsense. Yeah. Delete. And gone. Back to turn 3. There we go. Converse Aether Quartz. Okay, this is one of the new ones from the book again.
This some sort of autocomplete.
Most likely it's Lumineth.
It is, yes.
No, I have. Because I'm fat-fingered. Pick an enemy unit on the battlefield and 1 friendly Lumineth Realmlord unit that has at least 1 Aether Quartz in reserve. That's what the little blue tokens are for. You complete this tactic if the enemy unit is destroyed and the Lumineth is still on. That is the same. That's the same fucking battle tactic as ignore the odds. Apart from that one, you have to be in combat with each other at the start of the choice. That one you don't.
Good old Lumineth. Nice easy battle tactics.
That is the point. I don't get it.
Whereas we giants, all ours are rubbish.
Yeah, yours are pretty. See, this is one of the things that I think. So GW write a nice balanced sort of overall book with giants, and then take out the battle tactics and grand strategies, write a relatively balanced book for Lumineth.
Yes.
Then what they do is they make them bogus and horrific by adding grand strategies, adding battle tactics that are either too hard or too easy to get. They are the biggest problem areas GW have at the moment.
Yeah, it's when we had War Scroll battalions before, it was a case of haves and have-nots.
Yeah.
And we're back to that again, but now with battle tactics. It wasn't a particular problem when the GHB battle tactics were nice and simple.
Yeah.
But now they're much more complex, much more situational.
Yeah.
Some battle tomes like Lumineth or Doc that completes 2 just for turning up to the board.
Yep.
One of them with a bonus point.
Yep. Yeah. And also, if we take a cheeky look at our grand strategies here, say 20 out of the 32 taken are the same and they are just generic ones.
Yep.
And then the only other 2 generic ones are Defend What's Ours and Show of Dominance, means that there is something going on here that needs to be rectified. You can't have over 62% tied up in those 2.
No, because there's legitimately no other choice for most.
It's going back to hold the line again, isn't it?
Yeah.
But this time it's kill their stuff, get in their territory.
Yeah.
And we were talking yesterday and discussing that grand strategy doesn't really feel like something you can prevent all the time, or battle tactics, you know, just those sort of things. I know why they're in the game, right? They're there to make you play the game slightly differently, make a couple of less optimized choices every now and then.
I would much prefer secondaries like 40k, where you select them at the start of the battle.
Okay.
Or even at list writing stage.
Okay.
And as you do with your grand strategy, and then that's something you have to attempt to do every turn.
At that point, I'd have rid grand strategies.
You could say your grand strategy is kill battle line, So
no
place for the week.
Yeah, no place for the week.
And you get 2 points every time you kill a battle line.
Right, yeah. I see what you're saying. The thing is, I think you would have to have... Maybe you roster in some secondaries and then choose at the start of each game. Because if you're going against something that only has minimum 3 battle line units, you're only going to get a maximum of 6 points for your secondary out of X amount. But if you go against something that has 15 battle line units for whatever reason, you're going to get 30 points.
Well, either you cap it, or you say, well, there's the fun of list building.
You know people wouldn't like that, though, Tom.
I know. But it was the same when Hold the Line was a thing.
Yeah.
Some armies were entirely battle line.
Yeah.
Giants, Iron Jaws.
Yeah. The Beastmaster, Fire Slayers as well, with the Magma Dross and stuff like that at some points. That just became a bit of a mick take, to be honest with you. I think they need to do something with them. I quite like battle tactics as a concept more than secondaries for me, because it means that each turn you're doing or aiming for something different.
Yeah.
But I don't know what I'd do. It might be worth writing up some secondaries and giving it. We'll have to see what the next GHB brings. It will be battle tactics, let's be honest, because they're not going to change the core rules, are they? No.
Not till 4th edition.
And that'll be not 4th edition, but the GHB should be coming out towards the end of this year.
January.
Yeah. All right. So between now and next Warrior Lodge tournament, actually, there will be a new GHB.
Oh, goody. New battle plans, new secondary, new battle tactics, new grand strategies.
And another £30.
New realm rules.
3 different Lumineth books in that time. I do feel for Lumineth players, to be honest with you. Well, no, but like for those people that love the aesthetic of the army, have missed the High Elves disappearing and coming back like in this form, I've missed the... I feel bad for them, the fact that at first I think GW shouldn't do army boxes with the Codex in that or Battle Tome in that and then nowhere else for like 3 months. That's stupid. I shouldn't have to buy a League of Votann box to get access to the League of Votann rules.
True.
Like, if you're going to release an army box, release the Codex separately. Make it a less pretty Codex.
Do you want a Codex?
No, I do not want a Votann Codex.
I've got 2.
Because it's already out of date, Tom.
Yeah.
Which is so sad. But things like, they had the army book, and then they had the Codex release, and then they had FAQs beyond the wazoo, and they had another Battle Tome, released, and now this is the 3rd Lumineth Battle Tome in the space of 18 months? 24 months?
Something like that.
And then you got Karajan Overlords and Beasts of Chaos sat there going,
And back.
Hi! And, yeah. And it's just sat there, my brain gets... Oh, and Gloomspite as well, right?
Yeah.
They've got one of the biggest ranges out of all of those we've just mentioned.
Yep.
They've got 3 different sub-factions, like completely different armies inside them. Spiders, Trogs, Grots.
Squigs.
And Squigs, yeah. 4. And they haven't had a book in forever. 3, 4 years? 3 years?
It came out...
AOS 2, right? No.
2018 in January.
So it's been nearly... Wait, 18? No, it's not been nearly 6 years, has it? It was an AOS 2 book, wasn't it?
That'd be 4 years.
4 years.
Nearly 5.
Nearly 5 years.
Fairly early in AOS 2.
I remember because... Actually, yeah, I remember now because we had Gloomspite by Andy Clark released at the same time. The book, the novel. Pretty good novel. I don't know if you've read that one.
I've not.
Really good book. I don't really read, but that was a book that I picked up. Anyway, speaking of books being picked up, as predicted, that unit of 10 Stone Guard are...
charged the Lord of Afflictions.
Yeah, going straight in.
Let's see if he can tank it. Depends on his artifact and things.
Well, I don't know if that's the general one or not.
Oh, has he got more than one?
He's got 2. Because he's got 1 up here.
Oh, he's giving him the arcane tome.
Yeah.
It's not the usual setup for a Lord of Afflictions.
No.
Normally the Spike Thorn Helm.
Yeah, the one that's... No, yes, that one.
The no command abilities one is the overpowering stench
Yes.
command trait, which he has got.
Yep.
I think it gives him a 4-up ward or something.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
something stupid like that. You say ridiculous, and then we're sat watching these Stone Guard, who also have a 4-up ward currently, go into him.
Yes.
That is ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
I think ward saves are ridiculous. I think the problem is, right, the more mortal wounds you put into the game, the more ward saves you need to put into the game. So I think both of them need to be removed. Not removed, but toned down.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know? And also, why the hell do, like, these little flies have impact hits, right?
Well.
But why does my massive fuck-off dragon not have impact hits? It's literally...
Because dragons are descended from birds, so they've got hollow bones. They're not very heavy.
You think it'd lob a rock as it goes in or some shit. Not very heavy. The claws like literal daggers as well. Just need... The rules writing of this game, I think they've tried to balance stuff but not used logic.
We see the dragons don't charge. Actually, a Stormcast picks him up and throws him like a paper aeroplane.
No, they just you load your dragon into a long strike, into a thunder crossbow, and just bang, gone, eaten by lightning. But we are seeing the Stone Guard now lob themselves directly into this Lord of Afflictions, who has seemingly taken 7 wounds.
Or he has 7 remaining. I don't know which way he's counting.
He's been adding wounds taken on.
Okay.
Like, that is wounds taken. So unless he's decided to swap it for this particular model, I would be impressed. But I think we do... Hang on.
Oh, he's tanked it.
Has tanked it. Or is the Light of Altharion somewhere in there too? Unless that was the Light of Altharion. Or did he die to disease? No, it does look like he's tanked it. Wow, that's unfortunate. So I want those Ballista
There's more dice being rolled, so who knows?
saves. Yeah, they're the ward saves. No, did he tank that?
Yep.
Why would you not put the ballistas into it?
Maybe scared of killing him. To kill him, he would fail the battle tactic.
No, you choose...
Choose the unit, and that unit has to kill it.
Oh, yeah, you do, yeah. But one ballista, unless you spike everything, you can't kill that Lord of Afflictions in one go. So you'd surely fire 1 at it.
Maybe. Maybe he was just confident that 10 Stone Guard would do the job.
This is where the Stone Mage is actually the chosen unit and secretly has an Arcane Bolt stored on it. I saw so we had Kieran Bailey versus Alex Jones game 3 yesterday. Iron Jaws versus Crawlboys. So an Orikoff for game 3. Pretty damn good. And I was basically talking to the chat about, instead of using the Potrot Shaman 5-up poison, what he should have done was used an Arcane Bolt, released it at the start of the movement phase to kill off the 1 wound model that was in contact with the Incarnate, would then allow the Incarnate to move freely. And it was just little things like that. Like, I talked to Kieran afterwards, and I was like, just out of curiosity, why is the Shaman in your list? And he goes, well, it's for the 5-up wards. 5-up poison. I'm like, cool. Why else is he in? He went, well, there's no other reason. I'm like, no. You see, what you've done here is you forgot that he is also a normal wizard. He doesn't have to sacrifice his spell to allow you to get better movement. Bearing in mind, Kieran did take something like 24 Bolt Boys or 18 Bolt Boys or something, right? So that 5+ wound on 1 unit isn't phenomenal. Like, it's not the end of the world if you don't have it.
Only a minor increase over that many.
I'll be honest with you, I will take the 12 inches of movement on the Incarnate to go where I want it to go, rather than being stuck for another turn. And it's just little things like that, right? That, you know, the more you play, the more you can see these things happen. And I've said it before, but I'm graced with having the ability to talk through this stuff while they're having to think about 700 units. I could focus on one and then jump back to a different one at any point.
Yeah. You don't need to consider them in order.
No, I just consider what's left and where it's going. And looks like at the moment, stuff is sort of going a bit down here for Joe not lifting that and failing a battle tactic. That will hurt quite a lot. He will have hold 1, hold 2, hold more, though, if he still holds that top right one. Because that unit of 30 Stone Guard will be holding that fort down commonly. There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 models in the top.
He only put hold 1 down.
Kidding me? Hold 1, hold 2. Holds the bottom one and holds his home.
Ah, okay.
That's it.
2 points. So puts 1 point ahead.
Turn 4. That's wow, that is quite a pivotal turn there. Not, I mean, it would have been 3 points ahead if he'd have killed that Lord of Afflictions, I think. And I think David just won the priority, so there was no double turn there for Joe, which again is going to hurt a bit more, isn't it?
Yep.
Unless Joe is looking at available battle tactics, which a double turn here for Joe would be useful. Things like, you know, you could Ballista off that. You could gaining momentum this turn, right? Right, because you could maybe throw an Arcane Bolt or use a spell or something to get rid of that one wound. Move the Stone Guard round. And then charge this way. The quarter's there. The half, like the split is like there. So I reckon you could kill the Rotmire. Hold this bit. Ballista off these guys. And then you would end up holding, Joe would end up holding that one, and have at least 10 models worth of models in David's home half. But it is all about getting that one wound off that Lord of Affliction. And you have to do it in the hero phase. Because otherwise the Stone Guard aren't moving where they need to be.
No, that's not a particularly far charge for them.
I mean, this isn't at the moment, right? But I would still want to move them round, even though you could trigger a redeploy. What it would mean is David would be redeploying backwards at the bottom of a... No, it would be the top of a turn. Yeah.
I personally, if I were in that circumstance and I was David, I would redeploy towards the eyes.
Oh, this way.
Purposely. What you're just...
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I don't think you're wrong. I thought he was watching a video on his phone. Just mid-game. Right, everybody stop. I need to watch this TikTok. I am just going to check with the players because it would be useful to know which one did get priority. I'll be right back.
Let's press the button. The button's there for. Press the button, people. That is going to be fairly pivotal, who won that priority. Joe won the priority. Okay. Should be able to push out. Even if he can't take David's home objective, he can certainly pressure it. Likely that Lord of Affliction will die in the hero phase now. Eccles will probably kill him with the Styrian White Light range.
Go indeed get the double turn. Did indeed get the double turn there. And is now just choosing his battle tactic. Doesn't know what he's going to do. The first Ballista did shoot into the Lord of Afflictions. And did do... he did 5 wounds to it, because it only had 3 left when they charged in. They did 2 wounds to it.
Tanky boy.
But I don't understand why. So he's a 3-up save, right?
Yep.
With a 5-up ward.
Yep.
All-out defense gives you +1 to save.
Depends what the wheel's on. Might have a 4-up ward.
Oh, yeah. Good point.
All-out defense, best day ever.
Yeah. So
Getting down to a 1-up save, effectively.
Yeah, and then the -2 rend on the Stonehorn, on the, or -2 rend when they're buffed.
And he puts him back to a 3
3
up.
up.
3 up, potentially 4 up. It's hard to chip those wounds off him.
You almost want to cry a little bit if you're Joe at that point, because he denied him 2 points. That was almost felt like a bit of a writ, to be honest with you. Like watching how they went through other stuff. Don't commentate on 40k. That much. Might be doing a 40k coverage at some point.
Hurrah!
How are your 40k journeys going? You enjoying it?
I'm enjoying it. I'm avoiding match play GT type things and just going for the
Fun stuff.
Yeah, like Tempest of War or Crusade.
Yeah.
Really good Crusade event at Warhammer World.
Yeah.
We got a ticket for the one in January.
Of course.
The continuation of the story.
Oh, amazing.
I'm hoping to have my Space Dwarves painted for that.
No. League of Votan.
Space Dwarves.
Squats.
Squats. It's not going well at the moment.
Oh. Your colour scheme, what is it?
It's yellow armour with blue trousers.
Yep.
And they are the Mignon Conglomerate.
Okay. Why yellow, Tom?
Because they're minions.
I know. I get that. But why yellow, Tom? Like, why did you have to choose that scheme? What colour are you base coating them when you spray them?
The new White Scar.
Okay.
So it's this lovely bright yellow.
Yeah, horrifically bright yellow. Okay, I didn't know if you'd gone with like the pink undertone.
No.
If you base coat, you might already know this, but if you base coat a model pink, you will get a much better, a clearer and less streaky yellow when you yellow it.
So the new Imperial Fist contrast yellow.
Oh yeah, how's that?
It's a fantastic coverage.
Yep.
I don't particularly think it's a contrast paint.
Oh, okay.
They say it's a contrast paint, but it doesn't behave the same way the previous contrast paints do. It doesn't seem to pull away from the edges as much and pull in the recesses.
Okay.
It gives a much smoother coverage, so I've had to recess shade.
So basically, the reason you bought the paint, it doesn't do what it needs to do.
Well, I bought it because it's a nice bright yellow.
Right. I didn't know if you bought it for an ease of painting.
Well, yeah, but there's not that much recess shading to do, so it's fine.
I wonder if you could add a couple of drops of contrast paint, medium, to it.
Possibly.
To get the effect that you want.
Maybe.
Anyway, speaking of effects you want, Joe went for yet another Lumineth Realmlords specific battle tactic.
Elemental premise.
I'd like to think that was cast an air, an earth, a fire, and a water spell.
You'd be wrong because there aren't that many. There's only 3 spell laws.
Well, they also don't exist, do they? Like, that typing doesn't exist. Pick an enemy hero on the battlefield, and one elementary.
Yeah.
Basically, if it's an elf word, add an A to the front that has at least 1/8 quartz in reserve. You complete the tactic if the hero is slain by that A elementary. I assume he's picked Techless. I assume
Is Techless one?
A elementary? Got to be. No way he's not.
Otherwise, it's the Stone Mage, I think.
Yeah. The Stone Mage is just going to go up and whack him in the face.
Maybe he's got the Arcane Bolt.
Oh no, Techless isn't one. What? How is he not? It's Techless. There's got to be the Stone Mage. There's literally no other option.
I mean,
Yeah, Elementary.
Techless isn't a law master either, so he doesn't know all the spell lore anymore.
Which is hilarious.
Which is almost certainly a misprint, but amuses me greatly.
Gotta be right. I hate that model's face. Look at it.
Yes, he's an angry Chinese man.
I was gonna say a ball sack, but yeah. Selenar, swap the mask out. I like it. I like the pose. I like it. I really don't like Pantaloon Man.
He posed in his stupid hat.
Yeah. But I do like. Spadge says, "Got to kill something with the Stone Mage." I mean, he has a really strange non-wizard wizard weapon. Right? Before I show you it, I mean, you probably maybe already know, but what's a typical wizard weapon? Would you say melee weapon?
2 attacks, 3 threes, -1 d3 damage.
Right. This one, they've flipped the attacks and the damage. It's d3 attacks, 3 threes, -1, 2, and
okay.
it's 3-inch range.
Okay.
Why is it 3-inch range?
No idea.
Why is that 3-inch range and a is it Black Knight lance is only 1-inch range?
Yeah. Same for the lance on a vampire lord on zombie dragon. That's only 1 inch. Why? But why?
Anyway, he has the ability to do some damage. I just hope. Sorry? I just hope he was going to arcane bolt him off. Have you seen the size of the stick he has? He has a minimum 3-inch range. He does have a large stick. It's his horns. I reckon it's really his horns. But yes, he can make Rend improve on those stone guard to make them Rend 2 if they don't pile in, which is pretty nice. But we have seen Teclis move out of his little corner as well. Probably to go and finish off this boy. Just chilling.
If he can.
Don't mind me. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's still 6 wounds left on that fly. Joe did get the double turn. He has to make the most of getting what he can in terms of VPs now, because he lost a lot of his lead early on. That he accrued a good couple points lead early on in the game.
Dave has clawed it back nicely.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's not in a bad position.
Not. How does this thing not have impact hits? Not Teclis himself, but Selenar.
Mm-hmm.
Big monster. No impact hits. Or, how come monster... No, they're not even... The flies aren't monsters. Never mind. That confused me.
Fly has impact hits. Selenar does not.
Correct.
Works for me. At least it's something that the Lumineth don't have.
Lumineth don't have dwarves.
I mean, the Stone Guard are wannabe dwarves.
No, they're just...
Hammers.
Hammers.
Hammers are a dwarf weapon. Thank you very much.
What's a Lumineth weapon?
Spear. A sword. A bow.
Every other weapon. Except a hammer. A hammer's only exclusively for dwarves.
Yes.
Get out my house.
Axes. Axes are also a dwarf weapon. Well, forget about the white lions. They don't exist anymore. Annals of history.
Speaking of history, nice elbow. I was going to say this Lord of Afflictions is history, but the camera wasn't quite pointing the right way, and the Stone Mage did indeed whack him on the bonce. Yeah, hang on, where is he? Where's the Stone Mage?
The left, or the far side of Teclis.
Oh, is he? Oh, yeah. They must have done...
Arcane Bolt.
God, they did it again. They went to turn 5.
Well, that might be. They might actually be done.
That was turn 4 that we're playing.
Oh yeah, and David's not had his turn 5. Well, while you do that, I'm going to abandon you.
Yeah, you do it, mate.
Because I've not had a drink since my breakfast.
Oh,
so.
True. No, bugger off. Bugger off. Thank you very much, Tom, for joining me. I appreciate it. Go get your drink. Go have some fun. Have a wonderful day. I'm going to quickly go back here. Delete turn 5. Should take us back to turn 4 on the screen. No, this should take us back to turn 4 on the screen. Yep, and I will be right back. I'm just going to nip to the table. All right, and we are potentially looking at one of our, or potentially the winner of the tournament here, with Joe coming out pretty strong. David does need to claw it back. Turn 4, half an hour left. I assumed we would go to time in this mission. Tasty. David deciding to take what battle tactic? Barge through enemy lines. Yep, pretty standard. The flies. Actually, top and bottom flies can get that in pretty well because they've both got +1. Sorry, they're both battle line model units, so they can get the +1. Let's assume he's got hold 1, hold 2, hold more. 5 points coming in for David, potentially. We could see a tie going into the last turn, with take what's theirs being David's battleground strategy, show of dominance being Joe's. We genuinely could sort this. It could see like a really close game. Oh, they have to be galley vets. Yeah, okay, fair play. Yeah, I thought it was just battle. I'm still not a fan of Galatian veterans. Like my brain just can't comprehend them. I'm stupid man. Hey Andy, how's it going? All right, thank you. Sorry, chat, 1 second. So we can see those 4 flies now have got double debuff. They've got the movement speed debuff. They've also got the get out of my yard debuff, or the you have to roll under your bravery to be able to do anything. I'm trying to think. Rockmire Creed moved up towards them too. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. Coming in strong for David, I think, here. And the battle tactic. 16 to 16 probably at the end of this. I'm just trying to think what David can do here. He probably wants to try and charge into that single Blade Lord that's there. Maybe into the into Techless, possibly looking at going into the Stone Mage as well to try and do some damage. Or damage. Try and just see what he can do in terms of effectiveness. And then got some more summoning of Plague Bearers coming in at the top, really holding down on the take what's theirs for David. Might see him peek out a W here with the ability to summon those ballistas moving into the back. So at least actually 2 points, then three for the primary. It's going to come down to turn 5, and whether if Joe wins the priority, he might stand a chance to be able to try and deny some stuff from David. But David at the moment is looking pretty solid. He's got more models on the board than he started with. It's a massive unfortunate to everybody else. And I'm just trying to think. Sorry, I'm just trying to think what's going to go happen here. We're going to see, I imagine, potentially a long bomb charge here. These 4 flyers I can see coming around here, or maybe around this way. But we'll see what happens. Couple of charges. I don't think David needs to actually do anything. This is one of those turns where he doesn't need to kill anything. He can just swander around the battlefield like nothing's happening. He doesn't have to kill or charge or out. He can just score 1 or 2, score more because it's movement based. Barge through enemy lines is movement based. Gaining momentum, I guess, is turn 5 for David here. Choose that one little Blade Lord on his own. 3 disease points. Or like 1 wound. And away you go. Simple. Score your points. Take everything. Be in their spot. Done. Geo does need to start getting show of dominance into a position where he can claim the W from it, though. Because it is... let's have a look at the grand strategies. Playing this game. Show of dominance being generic. When the battle ends, complete this gun strategy if there are any friendly GV units in each quarter. 1 unit in the center there. Yep, indeed. No charges happening. Hold 1, hold 2, hold more. And the prio roll. For David. Unless they are just talking it out, that could be a very possible opportunity. Oh, sorry, we're just in the Battle Shock phase, sorting out the disease points, because you have to do that at the start of the Battle Shock phase. Just all going through, seeing if there are any wards to be taken. That Blade Lord was removed. So if you're going to look at gaining momentum for David, he's going to have to choose probably one of those Ballista units in the top there. They haven't got a lot of wounds. They're not as tanky as everything else. And they did move in the previous phase. A 6 versus a 5. Joe manages to clutch the Prio into turn number 5. Talk about clutching priority. This is going to be a bloody close game. I told you it would be time. I think if David would have won that, it would have been a different story. I think at that point we're onto a handshake. 5 VP easily. The 21. I think Joe will struggle to be able to pull that back from there. But we are close. He is close. Very tight game. Dropping that battle tactic really did hurt Joe. Really hurt Joe. Would have been 2 points ahead and a bit more comfortable. The summoning also being a pain in the ass. Those Nurglings coming out being frustrating. I don't know if Joe can do enough to stop what's happening. He's not going to get Show of Dominance because you need stuff in each table quarter. I just don't think it's going to happen. If teleports were available to him, he would have been able to poof around the battlefield like nobody's business. But unfortunately, not available. I think Joe is just seeing what he can and cannot do to try and win this game, to put himself in a position to be able to play the finals. Desecrate their lands. Just out of reach by the looks of things. On that one, there's nothing stopping you charging those Nurglings though. The first model has to end within half an inch. Not everything does though. It is Joe's turn. He did win the priority. Can he pull something out of his ass here? Actually, no, you could show a dominance, right? You can. And then you charge the Nurglings. Then you swing around and have that unit in multiple quarters and go from there. Rex, it is turn 5. Both players are 16-16. I think it's David's battle plan to lose because Joe's grand strategy is going to be difficult to achieve. David's he already has. David is also currently in control of 1, 2, 3, 4 board quarters now, I think. Oh no, 3 board quarters. Joe only 1. Joe will need to somehow, some way, somewhere claim at least 3 of these board quarters. If not, try and get... Oh, he does need all 4 for show of dominance, to be fair. So he needs to get all 4 board quarters, which would then give him hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and he has chose Desecrate as his battle tactic. So he's going to try and go for the big 5 points to give him 21 points pre-Grand Strats. And then it will be on David to deny whatever Joe can try and pull together with a grand strategy, solidify his, and take back 3 of the 4 board quarters. Oh Lord, this is a close match. Both players playing out of their minds. Both players attempting to do what they can to win with what they've got. Let's nip to the close-up cam because I really want to see this little bit here. Just on the edge of the board. That poor Stone Mage is not going to be able to get round into the other board quarter to count as 3 models to just pip that, so he could then throw something else somewhere else. It's certainly not going to be in a position to kill it. Teclis has the power to fly by, though. Maybe kill it on the flyby. Very, very close game. Yep. Move these guys around. It's a shame that Stone Mage couldn't pip off to the right-hand side a little more. Ballista's shooting, doing nothing. Well, the Ballista, 2 hits, 2 wounds. D3, so 3, 4, 5 damage. On to the Lord of Affliction. I think there's 1 wound left on it now, and Teclis is saying, hey ho, this is my house. Get out, you scrub-a-dub. Charge from Teclis going in. Aether Quartz scattered around. Charge from those Stone Guards. Surely. Here we go. Big, fat. Oh, it's a double 1. And the CP reroll. Into a 7. Reasonable. Into those Nurglings. Piling round. You're going to rely on a pile-in next turn? Providing they live? You're going to rely on that pile-in, and you have to leave something alive to be able to pile round it for Joe. Could this be the bloody close finish for him here? Very possibly. Joe trying to deny what he can and gain what he can. Oh, this is an Unleash Hell. Ward save. Oh, no ward save because no ward save because they don't contest an objective that they control. But there is the 3 wounds on those units because of the Stone Mage. So thanks for that. Cheers, dude. Just enough to pip off the Lord of Afflictions with Selenar. Would have had a pile in beforehand. Don't have to consolidate, Joe. Oh, was that impact hits? Oh, it was a stomp. Got it. Finish it with a monstrous action. Now we're putting the Stone Guard in. He is probably going to leave those Nurglings alive. And unless David retreats them out of combat, he's actually probably going to give Joe his grand strategy. David has the capability in his hands to prevent that from happening. Here we go, the Stone Guard attacking now. Whiffing like a trucker mother. Oh, +1 to win from the Triumph, of course. Oh, 4 more saves to be taken. Removing these Rotmire Creed. Gotta get up. I'm surprised he didn't pile round with the unit, to be honest with you. I would have piled round here with 1, 2, piled this one into this gap so they're in an inch, they're in coherency, and then thrown the rest this way. That's what I would have done. Now I don't think Joe has the capability to get them in next turn. Don't think Show of Dominance can be done, so he's not got a movement left. It's turn 5, it's the end of the game. We might have to come down to see just how much damage we can do with, or tank, I guess, with Selenar, or doing next turn as well, actually, but Teclis and Selenar taking a wound and some disease points there, but nothing much more than that from those Plague Bearers. And now the drones are in, and here we go, getting some saves through, some damage trickling over. Pretty sure that's a 2 on those dice. Take what's theirs, looking pretty confident here for David. You know, he's got the fly off to the left-hand side of the screen, which we just can't see. He's got the Rotmire Creed, which could just fall back into the territory because Joe didn't kill them. That's 2. That counters out the Ballista. That will probably, that fly off the left will impact hit off the 1 wound Stone Guard that he's got on there. And then, oh, there goes the Creed. Okay. Battle shocked away, sure. If it wasn't battle shocked off, just walk them in. Actually, those Nurglings can just retreat right into the territory. Then you'll have Nurglings, the unit of 4 flies, the unit of 2 flies, the 1 fly that's remaining, and the summoned unit, because it doesn't say starting army. That's 5 units for David for take what's theirs. 2 Ballista and Selenar, so only 3 units for Joe. I think we're coming down to a hold 1, hold 2, and desecrate, right, for Joe. So 4 points. No battle, no grand strategy achieved. I think we're going to see David come out with a pip of a win here. I think they're just counting up how many stuffs in whole range. Models have to be wholly in. It's not hold 1, hold 2, hold more, Joe, I don't think. I think you're just out of that. The hold 1, hold 2 definitely in your court. Desecrate definitely in your court. Healing back on all of the stuff. Just hold 1. Oh. That's sore. I'm just going to inform the table that there's only a few minutes left. Give me a second. came to the chat. We came to the conclusion that the players, David can't get a battle tactic this turn, so it literally comes down to hold one, hold two, hold more, and then the grand strategy to be able to pick it up. My God, that was bloody close. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, hags, haggets, I don't know, nurglings, grots, people, all you lot. Hey, look, it's my face. Thank you for joining me there for game number 4. We saw Go versus David. Lumineth versus Maggotkin. Maggotkin literally eking out a win. Both of these players phenomenal and fighting just for the final opportunity. We are going to see our grand final next on stream, hopefully, providing both players are adequate. I might just bully them into it, to be fair. But we have got David with Maggotkin of Nurgle versus Freddy Leggett with Beast of Chaos. Unless I've done my maths wrong, they're the only 2 undefeated players here on the Quest of Champions final, run by the Warrior Lodge. Chat, we will be taking a break for Luncheon, which starts very, very soon. And in fact, people are already queuing up. And we'll be back later on, around about. In fact, let's just quickly go to this. 1:45, so in 35 minutes, we'll be back for game number 5 of the Quest of Champions final, and we will see who gets to take home that massive big stabber and who doesn't. Freddy Leggett versus Daisy Geimer, Beast of Chaos, Maggotkin and Nurgle, 35 minutes time. See you guys there. Oh, I'm unmuted. Never mind. Yes, guys.